Well, for the better part of the last 10 years, various state governments have gone to war in a legal sense with outlaw motorcycle gangs. The Hells Angels, the Bandidos, the Gypsy Jokers, the Finks. A number of different biker gangs have been declared outlaw gangs, criminal organisations, and been the subject of state legislation which is aimed at curbing their free movement, free association, and targeting their headquarters. Now, in a couple of cases, these laws have ended up being knocked off in the High Court. They included the legislation that was put initially by the Rann Labor government here in South Australia. Well, now Mike Rann's successor, Jay Weatherill, along with his Attorney General, John Rao, have decided to have another crack. Yesterday they announced that 27 different organisations, some of which are not even here in Adelaide but are based interstate in Sydney and on the Gold Coast, are going to be listed as proscribed organisations. Now, this has upset defence lawyers, it's upset civil libertarians. People consistently say that this represents an abuse of the executive powers of government. The key difference, though, is that the legislation that was brought in yesterday means that it will be the entire Parliament, rather than the executive arm of government, which makes a decision to ban a gang. But the more ludicrous part of the criticism that we have heard from the lawyers who represent these biker gangs and make a profit for doing so is that this somehow represents the thin end of the wedge, and that if a Parliament can take action against a group like the Hells Angels, what's to stopping it from going after the local Rotary Club, the local Lawn Bowls Club, or the local Floral Arrangement Society? Well, the key difference between biker gangs and the other organisations I just mentioned is that unless the police have been asleep at the wheel, I don't think that the local Rotary Club has a speed lab out the back. I don't think that there's too many women who are involved in both flower arranging and the production of methamphetamine. And equally, the local scout group has never bashed anybody to death in full public view in broad daylight at the Sydney airport, as the Hells Angels did some years ago, nor indeed whipped out a pistol at a crowded North Adelaide restaurant and started firing bullets across the crowded cafe. So you bring this attention on yourself if you choose to live outside the law, and I think that most civil-minded South Australians would reject the civil libertarian argument and say that the biker gangs are getting the scrutiny that they deserve.